greetings, love icons, greetings, love warriors. It is so wonderful to be with you all this evening. We have a wonderful topic tonight, a surprising topic tonight. Some unexpected information, unexpected signs that your heart chakra is closed. Unexpected signs that your heart chakra is closed. I want to get into this tonight because so many times we think of ourselves as being, really loving, being open, being compassionate to others. And sometimes we're actually just not, sometimes we're not. Sometimes we're, seeing ourselves this way and not getting what we would expect out of life or out of others from being open-hearted, from being loving and compassionate. And, it's just not making sense to us. Like, why am I not getting that in return? Or why am I not experiencing other people this way? And the fact is that we ourselves are actually not, as open-hearted, as loving, as compassionate as we think we are. So, I want to dive into it. Before I do, I want to introduce myself. My name is Pangea Northstar. I am a Reiki healer, a sound therapist, an empath, a teacher, and I love to talk about love. The name of this segment that we do every Tuesday is Attracting Love Energy. And we're always talking about some aspect of attracting love energy for your wellness, for your abundance. And we're talking about attracting love of all kinds, right? Simply for, also for your evolution through this human experience. So, now, what are some signs that your heart chakra may be closed, could be, out of balance, could be shut down, right? So many things that could be happening in this beautiful energy center that we know as the heart chakra, okay? And as I see people coming into the room, please say hello so I know who is in here with me. And I definitely invite you guys as input and questions tonight. It's going to be an interesting conversation. So, what are some signs that your heart chakra may be closed or shut down? Number one, are you what I like to call a cutoff queen, okay? Or a cutoff king, right? A cutoff queen or king is somebody who is quick to cut people off, right? You have this friendship, you have a romantic relationship, you have a family relationship, a family member that, offends you, misunderstands you, or you have some type of misunderstanding or falling out. Something goes wrong, some kind of miscommunication, or maybe, they legitimately did something that was like, unkind, right? Are you super quick to just cut people off? And this is something that you guys, and I'm not saying this, I don't want to give you the impression that you should never cut anyone off. Okay. I'm definitely not advocating for tolerating abuse. Okay. Not at all. Let me get that clear right up front. Okay. But what I am talking about is, and I used to be this person, when we are the person that does not know how to resolve conflict, okay, our only tool in our toolbox is to cut the person off. When in reality, the situation is something that could have been resolved through better communication, right? Or a little more patience. Most things are resolvable between two people who care about one another. Okay, and this used to be me, guys. I'm saying this is something that I recognized at a point within my own journey, and I had to correct. I had to course correct. Okay, I was once a cutoff queen, and this is something that's actually praised in our society, that's actually glorified via social media. Oh, I just cut this person off and I won't tolerate this and I won't tolerate that. And I'm just quick to cut a person off. And it's kind of like a flex, it's kind of like a flex to just say, I'll cut people off, you know, sometimes that's really just the easy route. It's so easy to just cut somebody off instead of hearing them out. Okay. And when you think about it, there are plenty of times when someone could have cut you off. If you have any deep relationships, any close connections, I'm sure you can think of a time, if you're honest, that person whom you now, love and trust, and you know that they really love and trust you, there's some opportunity, there's some point in that friendship where you all didn't see eye to eye, where you may have disagreed, or there may have been some miscommunication, and that person could have cut you off. Okay? And it's really easy to do if you see yourself as a person who's perfect and doesn't make any mistakes and is always right. Then at that point it's easy to cut people off. Okay? But if you're honest with yourself and you recognize your own flaws first off, you recognize your own flaws, and that you are sometimes a person standing in need of forgiveness or understanding, a little more patience, a little more compassion from others, then it's a little bit harder to just cut people off. Does that make sense to y'all? Give me some fire in the chat if that makes sense to you all. Right? And if you have been a person in the past that's quick to cut people off, then do a little self-assessment and ask yourself, was I being fair? Was I doing that because I made an assumption that this person said what they said or did what they did intentionally to hurt me? Was I preemptively cutting this person off really quickly because I believed that they were about to hurt me? So I decided to hurt them first? Most of the time we're doing this as a means of protection. And sometimes, it's really not necessary to just totally sever a tie. One way you can tell if you are what I call a cutoff king or cutoff queen is if you don't have long-term relationships in your life. If you do not have long-term friendships, that may be a sign that you are too quick to cut people off. Okay, if you are a full-grown adult and you don't have any friendships, or you don't have many friendships that are long-term friendships that have gone on, for a number of years, maybe you're too quick to cut people off. Okay, just something to consider. Just something to consider. Okay, I've really had to learn in my life not to be so quick to judge people and assume that they were out to get me. Okay, a lot of times people are saying or doing something just because they're not considering, or it didn't occur to them how it might affect you. They may have been so wrapped up in their own feelings and their own emotions that perhaps they just missed the mark, right? Perhaps they just weren't thinking. Okay, so if you value your friendships and value your relationships, look for reasons to stay in those friendships rather than looking for reasons to cut people off. Okay, and if you're finding it to be true, that, man, it really is proven to be true that, after I investigate my first initial thought that, the person is trying to hurt me or whatever, trying to deceive you or whatever the case may be, if it proves to be true time and time again, then at that point, perhaps you want to evaluate, well, how am I deciding who to let into my life? Always bring it back to you, because your behavior is what you can change. Your behavior is what you can change. Okay. So let's look at another one. Okay. Number 2, unexpected sign that your heart chakra may be closed. Okay. If you are unable to accept help from other people, if you find it difficult to accept help from people, and now this is one I think a lot of people do unconsciously and don't really realize that they're doing it. When someone asks you, do you need anything? Is there something I can do for you? Hey, you say you're not feeling good. Do you want me to bring anything by? If you are a person that is always quick to say no when someone offers to help you or offers their time, right? That can be a sign that your heart is closed. Why? Because you expect yourself to never need anybody else, right? Part of being open-hearted, part of being a person that has an open heart is not only being quick to give, but also being open to receiving, right? When we hear the term so open-hearted, and we think of that as a good thing, we're thinking of a person who gives. But a person who's truly giving from an open heart, giving with an open heart, not with the motive of, oh, I want to look like a hero today, or I want people to feel indebted to me. I want people to like me. No, an open heart or pure heart is also able to receive. Okay? Why is that? Why is that? Because if you expect yourself to never need anybody else, that means you are lacking compassion, because you are lacking compassion for yourself. It's not very compassionate towards yourself to expect yourself to make it in the world all alone and never need anyone, never be able to accept help just as much as you give help. That's actually very imbalanced, okay? And it actually can also be an indicator of an imbalanced sacral chakra. Okay, the archetype of an imbalanced sacral chakra is the martyr. The person that sacrifices themselves all the time, gives, and never receives. Never cuts themselves a break. Does not know how to set proper boundaries. Okay, so that's just something to investigate as well. Okay, number 3, everyone else seems to be cold-hearted, unforgiving, closed off, untrustworthy, deceitful, unkind. It's everybody else. When in fact, you are the common denominator, right? You are the common denominator in every situation in your life. And if it seems like it's everybody else, that's a good clue that we've got to look at ourselves. Okay? Perhaps there's some aspect of yourself that is actually cold or unforgiving or closed off. Okay? And when we begin to realize and really make peace with and start to intentionally engage with the laws of the universe and understand that everything around us in our life is a reflection of us, then it becomes a bit more easy to understand that no, there's no way it's true that everybody else, not you, just everybody else, is so cold, so unforgiving, so closed off. Perhaps this experience is being reflected to you to show you something that you need to change about yourself. And I used to live in a world where I found it very difficult to trust other people. But as I began to change my own heart and change my own motives for dealing with people, and really start to realize in what situations I was giving in order to get something in return, and I began to come out of that. And I began to give for the joy of giving. When I became more trustworthy, I found it easier to trust other people because I had proven within my own self that people are trustworthy, right? People can be trustworthy. People can be loving. People can be compassionate. People can give for the sake of giving, right? And when I didn't believe that, it was because I wasn't giving just for the sake of giving. I was giving in order to get something in return. See how that works? Okay, so the last example I'm going to give, and before I give this example, if you have any questions in the chat that you want to ask, please ask. I will answer them before wrapping up. In the meantime, if this is making sense to you, give me some fire in the chat. If this is creating an opening, a new understanding for you, let me know. Okay. So, another sign, unexpected sign that your heart chakra may be closed is being unable to end relationships when it is best for both parties. What? This seems contradictory to what I said earlier about being a cutoff queen, right? About cutting people off too soon. But it's not. It's not a contradiction at all. Okay? We're talking about having the ability to end a relationship when it really is the best thing for both parties. Okay? And why might we not be able to end a relationship when it really is best for both parties? Well, one of the reasons is the reason I alluded to just a moment ago, which is if you're really in the relationship um, in a codependent kind of way, if you're participating in this relationship for what you're getting out of it, right? And it may seem that oh, this person is just doing you oh so wrong, and you may be telling yourself, oh, well, I just love this person, and I haven't gotten out of this because I love this person. When really, 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 and truly, this relationship is fulfilling some type of need for you, some type of underlying need. I'll give an example from my own life, as I try to always do, just for the sake of transparency. I would never want to come off like I'm judging other people, or that I haven't been there, because I definitely have. So I had a relationship years ago that was on and off for years, on and off for years. It's horrible how many years, probably 10 years. Okay. We were on and off with one another for years. And time after time after time, I would say to my friends, oh, this person's not doing this. I'm unsatisfied. I'm unhappy. This is going on. That's going on. And I knew in my heart that I needed to let it go and let it be gone. Right. But I was never able to let go of that relationship and stay out of that relationship until I started to open my own heart chakra, until I started to um, have a spiritual awakening until I started intentionally engaging with the unfolding of my own soul. Why? Why is that? Because the thing that I was getting out of this relationship was always having someone to point the finger at. As long as I had this person in my life who was not living up to what I wanted in a relationship, what I wanted in a partner, there was always someone else other than myself to blame for my unhappiness. There was always someone other than myself to blame for the problems in my life. I always could claim this moral high ground. I could always feel like maybe I was the smartest person in the room or the most honest person in the relationship or the person that was really working the hardest on this relationship. This is I'm being very transparent here, you guys. And if you listen to somebody long enough, you hear somebody time and time again saying, "Oh, I'm not happy in this relationship." You know someone like that, ask yourself, why are they staying? If it's you, ask yourself, why are you really staying? And it's so easy to tell yourself, "Oh, I'm staying because I love this person." Is that really the answer? Is it really the love? Or is it that this gives you a scapegoat? Is that person a built-in scapegoat for you? A reason to, to say, "Oh, well, they are the reason this is going wrong." Okay? Sometimes it's that your heart is actually closed off. Your heart is actually shut down. And you're really using this push and pull, this power struggle, the toxicity of this relationship just to feel something. Just to feel something. Whereas perhaps maybe you're really feeling quite numb. Maybe you're really have an impenetrable fortress around your heart. Maybe being in this relationship with this person gives you the appearance of wanting a relationship or being ready for a relationship or really wanting connection. And perhaps you really don't. Maybe if you really wanted connection, you would have chosen someone that is capable of giving you the type of connection that you say that you desire. So for myself, when I was in that situation, I had to admit to myself that I really wasn't capable. I really wasn't ready. I really wasn't desirous at that time of the type of connection that I claimed I wanted. Right? I was really at a point in my life where people with pure intentions, real love that came from the heart, non-judgmental love, real love. The only real love is non-judgmental. Unconditional love was very unfamiliar to me. It felt very unfamiliar to me. The point at which my life and the point in my life in which I realized that guys that really had good intentions towards me, that really could love me from a pure place, nice guys, their energy felt very unfamiliar to me. Yet I was in a relationship. So, this makes sense to you. Give me some fire in the chat, you guys. Give me some fire, fire, fire if this makes sense. Okay. Ourselves, we're open. and we're really not. Okay. So that's pretty much it for today, you guys. I'm not seeing any questions come in, but I do want to be sure to invite you all to check out an event, a virtual event that we have coming up this coming Saturday. Is part two of Adult Daughters of Narcissistic Mothers. That's Adult Daughters of Narcissistic Mothers. You can find the event on Eventbrite. Okay, and I'm also going to attach the link below in the comments. Okay, Adult Daughters of Narcissistic Mothers. And this Saturday, we are going to be talking about the heart chakra and how the heart chakra is affected by having a narcissistic mother. Okay, this is a very, very deep wounding that takes it can take a lot of time. It can take a lifetime to heal from. It can affect you well into your adulthood, but it can cause many, many issues that you may not even be realizing is coming from that wounding of having had a narcissistic mother. So thank you guys so much for joining me on this Tuesday, as you do every Tuesday. And we'll be back next Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Central Time for another episode of Attracting Love Energy. Thank you guys. Peace and blessings.